Coaches Show, our winter version. The first time we've had a winter version of it. We've had it in the fall, and we've decided it's been so successful that we're going to continue on with the winter for the next 8 weeks. So welcome here. We are at Uccello's of Caledonia, our wonderful host for our fall show. So we're going to carry it on. We're going to be talking basketball tonight primarily, but we're going to have basketball featured most weeks. But we're also going to have other winter sports teams join here from Davenport University. We highlight the Panthers program. We'll start out tonight with the women's basketball program. Coach Shonda Sanders joins us right now. And Coach, I know the record's not what you want right now. I last chatted with you at the Northwood game, and we were talking about the bad quarter blues. Yep. You seem to have one quarter that dragged you down. How are you coming on that?
We're starting better. It used to be the first quarter, or it used to be the third quarter, and them quarters we're doing better. Now it's kind of like that second quarter, or if it's not a bad quarter, it's like a bad 4 minutes or like a bad 5 minutes. So it's kind of like versus Tech, we had a lead, and then we had like a bad after media timeout. They went on an 11-0 run. So it's a stretch that we have that we can't get ourselves out of, but we've been working real hard in practice with throwing things at them, different drills, different scenarios to help them in them situations.
Well, Coach Burt Paddock, who's going to join us in the second half of the program, I saw you commiserating with him. He's going through some of those same issues with his squad. We'll talk to him about it as well. You also talked that night at Northwood to me about how much emphasis you put on rebounding. Now, the rebounding margin is still not where you want it to be. Are you getting better in that area overall, do you think?
I feel like we are. We're putting more things in practice to really focus on that, a little bit more consequences and things like that. There's players who have rules. There's players who they have to get 5 rebounds a game. They have to get 6 rebounds. They have to get like certain numbers, and they're not doing it. So we're kind of like holding them more accountable and calling them out more about, hey, this is your role. This is what you're supposed to be doing. So I think our last game, the ones that we were calling out, they're starting to rebound more. So I think it's starting to hit them since we're making it more like it's an importance in practice also. So
one of the things that you hope will help in that rebound area, you added a new player at the semester break, Nevaeh Galloway. Tell us about her and what you hope she'll bring to your program.
One thing is rebounding, and then also just a presence in the paint on defense. I don't know if anyone knows, but she was Defensive Player of the Year in JUCO. She was at Iowa Central. She was a Defensive Player of the Year in junior college for blocking shots. I think she averaged like 4 blocks a game, 5 blocks. So that's something that she brings, and that's a presence with. I mean, she's 6'2", and then when she have her arms up, she's about 6'11". She's pretty tall. So with her coming in, it gives us that extra in the paint. So like if guards do get beat, or if someone do get beat, they know they have someone in the paint there that could alter shots for them.
Now, your number one post player, Lily Gustafson, will join us in our next segment. We'll talk with Lily about that. But Nevaeh also plays post. Are we going to possibly see some places where you're going to have them both out there at the same time, or is that something you don't want to do?
It's something my staff and we talk about, but with our conference, most schools start basically like 4 guards in one post, so it's kind of hard to have both of them in. Not for us. That would be a great thing for us because we'll be big inside and we could go inside, but it'll be just with matchups because one of them will be guarding someone who's quicker or a 3-point shooter, just someone that's going to pull them out of their comfort zone. So right now it's kind of just subbing each other out, but I feel like there will be a moment this year where we will have them both in together.
Now, one area in the stat sheet tells us that you're dead even in turnover margin, and that's something that's big. You're good on steal. You were at 13 steals in a game last week, so you've got to be happy with that improvement.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When we look back at the stats, we'll see I think our last few games we've been shooting 40% from the field. We've been getting steals. We're getting a lot of deflections that we want. We're taking care of the ball, but our times that we are turning over is at key moments. We had a lot of key just being out of bounds our last game, just not being aware of where you're at on the court. So it's just like key moments where we have a mistake where on the stat you'd be like, oh, we only had this many turnovers, but it'd be like, oh, but them turnovers were key turnovers at key moments of the game.
You mentioned the deflections, Coach. I don't
it's not your job to get a steal. It's just your job to put the pressure, maybe get a deflection, and it's your teammate's job to get the steal. So we've been really just harping on our girls about getting a lot of deflection because that changes the game. Make a deflection could slow someone down with getting a transition point. A deflection could help us with just altering someone's flow in their offense. It can make them, they're so used to being a continuity offense where they're used to just passing back and forth, and we get a bunch of deflections. Yes, they're still running their offense, but they might be going faster than what they're used to.
You stay in conference play this week. Wayne State comes in. Easy to say, you look at the records, both these teams hungry for a conference win. Yep. What are some of the keys tomorrow you already know against the Warriors?
One thing would be they're a scrappy team, and they're very tough, and they play hard for 40 minutes. So our girls are going to have to match their energy with that. And then they have a really good grad senior guard in Becca Fugate. She's kind of their energy, and then they have a post player, Shay Tripp. Them two are kind of like their engines that go. So our focus will be really to just watching them, kind of going at them. I feel our advantage would be in the post. I know last year when we played them, our advantage was in the post. Lily had a double-double. Ellie, that was the one game she came back and played. She was able to play in. We had a couple of post players last year that were just able to go to work in because they're just kind of undersized in the post. So I think that's where we will have our advantage in.
All right, our next segment, we're going to have that post player we mentioned, Lily Gustafson. Tell us about her, what she means to your program, because she's an integral part of what you put out there.
She's huge, not just on the court, but off the court. Her leadership. I don't know if everyone knows, but she's a nursing major.
We're going to talk to her about that.
Yeah, and nursing is very, very, very hard at Davenport. And there's times where she's only with us maybe 2 days a week for practice, her and Ellie Tony. So, and then that's two starters, post starters. So I only have them on Mondays and Tuesdays. I don't get them on Wednesdays or like right before the game for shoot arounds on Thursdays. So, but they come in, they shoot extra. They do one-on-one workouts. They come watch film. They come watch the scouts. So they make sure that they're still ready for the game outside, as well as holding 3.5 or higher grade point averages in nursing.
And by the way, she averages 12.5 points and 8 rebounds a game. All right, Coach Sanders, thanks for joining us again. We'll hope we can get a win tomorrow night against Wayne State, 5:30 at the DU Student Center. Catch it on DU Panthers. Come on, better yet, come on out and cheer on the Panthers. Coach Sanders, thanks for joining us. We'll talk with Lily next.
All right, thank you.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back with Lily Gustafson here on the DU Panthers Coaches Show, live from Uccello's in Caledonia. Really get that mic as close to the corner of your mouth when your lips come together. We roll on with the DU Panthers Coaches Show, the winter version, live from Uccello's in Caledonia. Stop out. You want to have a good time, boy. I tell you what, we're sitting here. You can't see it from our camera view, but there's 12 screens in front of us here, all of them huge there. Everything going on that you want to see in sports, and a lot of excitement going on. And then on the other ends, they've got the even larger screens there. Great atmosphere, fantastic food, great staff, everything. Spencer and the gang do a great job here, so please stop out and enjoy and appreciate that. We're talking women's basketball still. Lily Gustafson, a junior post player for the DU Panthers right now. And we were just talking with Coach about your nursing schedule. You're a nursing major. You want to be a nurse. Tell us, first of all, about how that affects you, because she was lamenting how you can't be at every practice. Tell us about that schedule and how it can sometimes maybe be a little frustrating for you.
Yeah, so like today I had class at 8 o'clock and I couldn't make it to practice. So after I'm done with my 2 classes for the day, I'm in class for 3 hours, 2 times a day. I have to come to the gym to shoot, and then I have to find some time to get recovery in. And I still have to come back after, find time to have dinner, and then find time to do homework too. So it's just a lot of time management and finding time to get everything in during the day.
Where did the interest in nursing come from on your side?
I've always just loved the medical field, and nurses, like, I just feel like they're the backbone of the medical field, and everyone just, like, every nurse that I've had has made an impact on me, so that's where it came from.
When you do eventually go into nursing full-time after school, do you want to stay in West Michigan? Do you want to go back to the east side where you're from, or do you want to just go anywhere?
I'm not 100% sure yet. I probably will go back home, and travel nursing's a big thing now, so I'd love to try that out, just travel while I am doing my job.
Speaking of back home, she went to Heartland High School. She was an all-stater there under Coach Don Palmer. Tell us about your high school days and how that prepared you as a player and maybe as a person for college.
Yeah, so my high school experience was different than everyone else on my team. I really didn't have the playing time everyone else did till my senior year. I played behind a Division I athlete who's at Michigan now. So my first 2 years, my freshman year I was on JV. We went undefeated that year. And I really didn't practice with JV my freshman year. I was always up at the varsity practices playing against the other post player there. So then my sophomore and junior year, I got limited minutes, played behind the girl that was going to Michigan. And I think that kind of just shaped the player that I am. I took a lot of pride on defense, just like making her better, but also making me better. And then senior year, she graduated, and that's when I really just like took my role serious and worked on defense and offense, and my teammate was great. I loved everyone that I played against. I still get to play against some now. Some play at Lake State, some play at Saginaw, so it's great to see them every time I see them.
Averaging 12.5 points, 8 rebounds a game, also 2 steals a game, so she's got the good hands in the side there as well. As a junior now, your third year of college basketball, tell us an area that you think you've improved the most since your freshman year and one other area that you still have to get better at.
Yeah, so I think I've improved on my defense. Freshman year I came in and I was kind of like a weak post player, and I've taken a lot of pride in getting into the weight room and getting stronger. So I think not being pushed around as much in the post because it's very physical down there. And one area that I think I can improve on is just like finishing around the rim and working on my outside shot.
Tell us about your family, how they've influenced you, and how they support you.
Yeah, so my parents are at every game. They, no matter where it's at, they try to make it. My 3 older siblings all played basketball, so that's where I get my competitive edge from. My older brother played at Lawrence Tech, and I would play against him, and he'd just make me better. So I'm just thankful for all of them.
All right, finally, Lily, tell us what's this team got to do? We talked with Coach about the bad quarter blues, the bad segment that seems to just overcome you. You know, you can play well for a quarter and a half and then a 4-minute gap there and things go awry. What do you got to do to get beyond that, get over the hump?
I think we're still a young team, so it's just bringing up the young players when that happens. I see it during the game. We get into that rut, and I try to bring everyone up, and I think we just have to get over that. And I tell them every day, as soon as we play a full 40 minutes, like, we're going to be unstoppable. But we just have to get over that, like, when teams are going to go on runs against us, and we have to be able to go on runs against them too.
Lily got Michigan done a great part in her program here. Great to have her here, and especially when they only get her a couple days a week for practice. Best of luck to you, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll take a break, switch over to men's basketball. Coach Burt Paddock will join us. Stay with us. The Davenport Coaches Show continues live from Uccello's in Caledonia. We roll on the Davenport Coaches Show, the winter version from Uccello's in Caledonia. Rick Berkey alongside, switching. Enjoyed talking with Coach Shonda Sanders and Lily Gustafson from the women's side. Now we're going to switch gears to the men's side as head coach Burt Paddock joins us right now. And Coach P, we've talked at the games a little. Your last 2 games, we talked, you had 17 really good minutes in that first half before things turned around, and I thought, especially on the defensive side, you had 30 good minutes Saturday before it got away from you.
Yeah, we're not allowed to use the word frustration in our program. We talk about that a lot, just trying to move forward and keep making good plays and progress every day. And I'll give my kids credit. I feel like every day when they come in, man, sometimes I'm wondering where they get such positive energy from. Those young people, they do such a good job. We're very lucky as coaches. I know our record doesn't show it, but, man, the effort that we're getting from our kids and the mindsets that we're getting from them and all that good stuff is where it needs to be. I feel bad that as their head coach, I haven't been able to find the magic words, the magic answer to find this out, because I feel like we've got plenty of talent. And like you said, we had some really good moments this weekend. I thought we had some really good basketball. But the one thing we've struggled with, and you've seen it consistently here, is just when things don't go well and we hit a little bit of adversity, and not being able to weather that and allowing a 2-point lead or a 2-point deficit turn into a 14 or 15-point deficit in a pretty short period of time. And one thing I'll give our kids credit about is they continually fight and keep coming back, and we don't just give up. But we keep having those lulls in games, and I've got to find a way to switch our defenses, get timeouts called in better situations. I'm not sure, substitute a little bit different. I have to do a better job, and my assistant coaches have to do a better job of finding ways to kind of stem the tide there when the other team's going on a run, because I feel like we've played some games where we played 30 minutes, like you said, of really good basketball, but there's been 8 or 10 minutes where it just got away from us, and we've got to find a way to get through those things if we're going to turn this thing around.
You mentioned the defense. You held Northern Michigan to 28 points in 30 minutes. That is outstanding defense, and you mentioned the mixing it up also of going, zone man, a little bit of press here and there. And that seemed to work well for that squad.
You know what? We did, and there's been days where that's happened. And I guess the one thing also that I don't want to do as their coach, though, is I don't want them thinking. I always talk about when you have a team out there that's thinking too much, they're not playing. And when that happens, they usually tend to struggle on the offensive end. And I feel like we've done that a few games where we slowed them down and ran too many sets or switched our defense and had them thinking so much that they couldn't function out there. And I took the blame for that. And I almost felt like in this last game on Saturday against Tech, it was quite the opposite. We let them just play too much. And when Tech, we were up 9 and then went down 9. And during that stretch, I didn't help them enough. We didn't run enough plays. We didn't run enough defensive switches. We didn't have enough things on our plate to help our kids out. And I've just got to do a better job. I'm firmly convinced tomorrow we're going to do a better job. Looking forward to this weekend, and hopefully we can bounce back and give these kids some confidence as we move forward to the rest of our season.
Last Saturday, a little lineup change at least at the starting positions there. First starts ever in a Panther uniform for Jaden Terrell and Javon Tucker, and I thought they responded pretty well, at least initially.
Well, they both played really well. I thought Jaden had a really good day that day. He only ended up playing about 18 minutes in the course of the game, but I thought he played well. He moved the ball well. He had a couple good drives and stops. One thing he did a really good job of is the first 30 minutes of the game, he guarded the leading scorer in our conference really, really well, and I was excited to see that. And Javon did well also. I believe he led us in rebounds one of the games this weekend with 5 defensive rebounds, which has been a struggle for us, so he gave us some good minutes out there. I guess one thing I want to say about that is the kids that didn't get to start, it's nothing against them. They didn't do anything wrong or anything like that. It was just trying to change it up, trying to find those buttons like I talked about earlier that we can push to give us that jump start to get us on the right track here.
Yeah, you mentioned that, and I saw not only Jaden, but other guys when they came in, there was a fire in their eyes when they were taking on one of the top scorers in the entire GLIAC. In fact, he is the leading scorer in the GLIAC, and held him in check, again, until the last probably 6-7 minutes of the game.
Yeah, I thought we had 3 different guys that asked to guard him, and when they got their opportunity, man, they really had great closeouts. They were close. They ran him off the 3-point line. He was struggling for a majority of that game, and like I talked to you just a minute ago about, we hit a lull there offensively. We scored 2 baskets over a 15-minute span in that game, and our heads went down a little bit. And heck, I can't blame them. I mean, that's tough to overcome. It's hard when you're only scoring, 6 or 7 points in 3/4 of a half. And when that happened, our heads went down a little bit, and then all of a sudden he got a good look, and then he made one. And like we talk to everybody about, when you're a really good player and you get a really good look and you see it go down, it kind of opens up the floodgates. That's kind of what happened. He ended up with 20, and yet I felt like we did a tremendous job on him for such a long period in that game.
Who are the leaders on your team, Coach Paddock?
It's funny. I feel like they all are. It's funny because everybody's like, you need leaders, you need this. I feel like all our kids are doing that's what pains me the most, Rick. If you came to practice with us, you would see Miles, you would see Licho, you would see Yak, who's not even playing. Those guys have such a voice on our team. Luke Barra does a great job as a young kid, as a sophomore, being one of our most vocal guys in practice and making sure guys are getting after it. And so I feel like we've got a bunch of leaders, and I feel like they're all leading in the right direction as well. They're all got positive thoughts coming out of their mouths and trying to help each other out and all that stuff. That's why I think this bothers me so much. We've had a lot of success here. We've also had a year or two where it wasn't successful, and you felt like, well, we're probably not going to get there because we didn't have the leadership or we didn't have this. And this year, that's why I feel so bad for our kids, because I feel like they are doing the right things. I feel like in practice every day, if you came to our practice, you would see kids working incredibly hard, saying the right things, doing the right things. Heck, we got 3/4 of our team every day in there 35, 40 minutes before practice, getting shots up, staying late after practice. And so I've got absolutely zero issues with our team. I know they're getting a little bit disappointed right now with the results of our games. I hope as a coaching staff, we can, like I said, we can find the right buttons to push this weekend. Our kids deserve a little bit of confidence. I think we can just get a game or two under our belt. These kids can feel good about themselves. And the other thing we haven't talked about yet is, hopefully in the next couple of weeks we can get Yak back from his ankle injury. And if he gets him back, when you add a 6'11" athlete like him back into the fray, I think that'll give us a lot of confidence as well going down the stretch.
Yeah, he's been out for quite a while. Can you name one player, Coach, that you say is that close to taking that up another level, that's showing you this and that in practice and little spurts of it here and there, and it's just right there ready to go to the next level?
Well, I think it's Miles Ballou. Like, Miles has been so close. He's done such a good job of buying into guard. When he was at Saginaw, he averaged 23 points a game. He was Mr. Offense. I mean, you couldn't get that guy stopped. And ever since he came here, he knows that we've got Leacho and some other guys that can score, and he's really bought into guarding and rebounding. He had double-figure rebounds this weekend. He's trying to do a lot of things for us. And I feel like he's a little rushed on offense. We've talked about it. He came in. He was actually watching film with Coach Mike today when I left the office earlier today. If we can just get him to slow down a little bit on offense, he's just rushing and pushing himself a little bit. He wants to win so bad. I really feel like the time he's had this week and last week in the film room, seeing what he's doing, if we can get him to slow down just a little bit, he can get back to where he was and hopefully kind of slow us down and give us a sense of confidence on offense that we definitely need right now.
Wayne State comes to the DU Student Center tomorrow night, and like you, very hungry for a GLIAC win.
Yeah, they've not played great either. You watch them play. They've got some youth in there. They've got a lot of different guys from last year. They are a little bit like Michigan Tech in that they've got a kid on our team that can really shoot. I mean, a tremendous shooter. Kid that we recruited, actually, Carmelo Harris, who's fantastic. So hopefully we can get those 2 or 3 guys that guarded the kid from Michigan Tech. Hopefully we can guard him the same way and run him off that 3-point line. If we can do that, it'll give us a great chance to be in this ball game. Hopefully, like I said, get us our first GLIAC win.
Finally, Coach, our next segment, I'm going to bring Jeff Carrier, your junior, over from Ludington. Tell us about what he's meant to your program, because it's hard to believe, he's one of the veterans now.
Yeah.
I remember when he was just a peach-faced, fuzzy kid coming in as a freshman.
We actually were just talking about that at the table over there. Jeff is he is an awesome kid. I can't say enough about him. I get a little emotional. Jeff is one of the hardest working kids I've ever had. I don't know if he's one of the most talented in terms of being able to jump up there and touch the rim and things like that and be the fastest guy from one end to the other, but a guy that brings it every day and has such a great attitude and always saying the right thing, and the first guy to dive on the floor and the first guy to get the guy up off the floor if somebody else dives, and just the epitome of what you want in your older kids in your program, just making sure we're always doing the right things and saying the right things. And I don't know in all my time of coaching if I've ever had a kid that I've probably had to get on less than him. He's just an awesome kid. He does a great job in the classroom and his internships. He's just setting himself up for a really successful kid, whatever he does.
All right, great lead into Jeff Carrier, junior from Ludington. We'll take a break, come back and talk with Jeff as we continue with the DU Coaches Show, the winter version here at Uccello of Caledonia. And we continue the Davenport Coaches Show, the winter version, our inaugural version of that. We had so much fun the last few years with the football and Coaches Show in the fall. Decided to carry it over to the winter side. We'll be here for the next 8 weeks at Uccello of Caledonia. You can, of course, if you're watching us here on the U Panthers YouTube channel, you can catch it live, or you can catch it anytime after the show's done. You can pick it up on the DUPanthers.com YouTube channel. Talking men's basketball right now, we talked about Jeff Carrier, the junior from Ludington, Michigan. He joins us right now as our next guest. Jeff, let's talk a little bit about your past. Mason County Central High School, you were an all-stater there. Tell us about your high school days and how that prepared you for college as a player and as a student.
My time at Mason County Central, it was a good time. With basketball, my coach was really good with me. He was always tough on me. He always made sure I put out my best every day. And then when it came to academics, just all the teachers that were there, they made sure that students did their best and always turned in the work that they needed to get done.
Jeff, I'd like you to think way back, all the way back, high school, middle school, even elementary school. As a student, as a young man, was there one person, one teacher that really influenced you a lot, that really, got you thinking about things in ways that you hadn't before?
Yeah, there's one that I can bring up, Mrs. Anderson from second grade. She was a great teacher. She always made sure that the students did what they needed to do and made sure they learned it. If you didn't know what she taught that day, she would always go over the next day and make sure that you learned it.
I was talking with Coach before you joined us here about how, looking at you now, Junior, you're a veteran on this team, and it just seems like just yesterday we were the young freshmen coming in there just trying to earn your minutes there. How does it feel to be a veteran now?
It feels good, yeah. Time definitely flew by these last couple of years, just being from a freshman and now being an older guy on the team and guys looking up to me and as a leadership.
Tell us about your family and how they've supported you throughout.
They've supported me, been good with that. They always wanted me to do the best and make the choices that I want to make, and they always supported the choices I've made.
Star Wars, your favorite movie?
Yeah.
Is that right from the start? You've been through all of them?
Oh, yeah. Every different times of the year, I'll be like, all right, let's watch 1 through 9, and I'll do that.
You got the little figures at home?
I do not. I used to actually collect the lightsabers when I was younger. When I go to Walmart, I always got to get one.
All right, let's talk a little bit about your major is sport management. Tell us what you're thinking about doing with that degree once your Davenport days are done.
What I'm thinking about with that, possibly an AD at a high school somewhere, or possibly working for a professional team like the Griffins or the Gold that's in Grand Rapids. I wouldn't mind working for those.
Yeah, that's the new professional volleyball team.
The Rise, yes.
The Rise, yeah, you could get in with them maybe as well. Yeah, the great experience. You got great opportunities here as a sport management major. Let's talk a little bit about this team. Again, as one of the veterans, Coach says that you're a guy that he has to talk to almost never about the effort and energy in that. But what can you do as a leader to try to get this team over the hump? Because you're getting closer. You can see that you're playing more and more better minutes over the course of the game, but still a bad segment throwing you back.
Yeah, it kind of just starts with me just putting in the effort and having the guys see that and knowing that just keep putting in that effort, and eventually it's going to come in for us, and we're going to be able to win some of these games and make a run for it.
Jeff, you've been all academic in your Davenport days, so you're certainly doing the job on that side of the responsibility. What do you do for your own enjoyment? Away from basketball, away from school, maybe in the summer, whatever. What do you do just for your own enjoyment?
In the summer, I like to go out fishing with my grandpa back home, hang out with friends, and kind of just see nature, like go out to the state park. That's always fun and relaxing. Do
you see yourself staying on this side of the state after school, or are you willing to take a job anywhere it leads you?
I'm willing to take a job anywhere it leads me. I'm not too picky where I end up.
Who are your roommates?
My roommates are Rayshawn, Luke, and Jack.
All right. So who's the best? I always ask this question. Who's the best game player there?
I would say it's between me and Rayshawn.
Okay. Usually every time I ask a player that, whether it's football, basketball, doesn't matter, they always say, "Oh, it's me." It's always me. You at least shared it with Rayshawn Brown. All right, Jeff. Hey, best of luck to you. Thanks for joining us. I know you're doing a great job. It's been great to have your program, and your nickname is still coming. Just looking for that first dunk. All right. Jeff Carrier, and that wraps up our coaches show here from Uccello's Academy. We'll be back here next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Make sure you join us for that. We have special guests all the way around as well. So for our special guests, Coach Sanders and Coach Paddock, as well as Jeff Carrier and Lily Gustafson from the women's side, this is Rick Berkey saying thanks for joining us, and go Panthers.